Yeah.
Yes, there he is. There you go. Hi, Joe. Superb. Congratulations. How do you feel today?
Amazing. Yeah, it's been an anxious couple of weeks. Mind in overdrive, wondering, are we going up? Are we not? So yeah, ultimately relieved and delighted. Really, it's been a long 2 years, I think, for us. And yeah, we're just really pleased now to finally get that bit of good news, and we're delighted, and we're going to really look forward to pushing forward now and competing in a new division, new teams, new experiences, hopefully with crowds back. So yeah, nice way to end the season for sure.
So yeah, I mean, obviously a disrupted and odd situation for all sport, but you guys included as well. Talk me through the application process and the kind of things that they were asking you, because it's not just what you've done on the pitch.
Yeah, so it was 75% was on pitch, so 55% of that was our league over the last 2 years, and the remaining 20% was made up of League Cup performance, FA Cup performance, goals for, our goal aggregate. And then, yeah, the 25% off the pitch was workforce, structure, facilities, admin, all sorts of off-field administration. So it was a bit of a big piece of work, as well as lots of supporting documents, which we feel we put a really strong piece together. So yeah, that was how it went, and we kind of completed that and sent it off, and yeah, it was successful.
I mean, yeah, there must be a huge spreadsheet somewhere with everyone on it. Do you know how many others also applied?
I'm not too sure. I think there would have been maybe 2 or 3 from our division. I would imagine it would probably range from, I'd say 2 or 3, possibly from most divisions. But yeah, can't be sure. But I think some teams would probably look at the piece of work required and probably think it may not be worth our time. I think for us in particular, I think most of the teams in our league would have probably put their house on us going up, so maybe wouldn't have kind of gone forward with an application. But I think maybe 2 or 3 would have done on the off chance that potentially someone from the league above came down. So there was an opportunity for voluntary relegation, and I think 1 or 2 teams had struggled over the last few years in the league above. So yeah, I think that clubs might have looked to have applied and hoped that a team might have volunteered to come down, and obviously 2 would have gone up then. But that wasn't being, it was just us.
So, I mean, obviously that adds a little bit of pressure to you guys as well with the expectation. What are the pros and what are the cons? What have you got to be wary of?
Well, I think that when we kind of not made a decision, but naturally had inherited a really good group of young players and had made a decision to kind of drip feed them into the first team sooner rather than later, we felt that last year we would have gone up. I think one thing we were always wary of is that we kind of had a bit of a head start on everybody. And we're kind of like 3-4 years of groundwork to get to this stage. And I think that there's a lot of teams that have kind of seen what we've done and not necessarily taken a leaf out of our book, but the game's growing so much, there's more money going into the game. And I think that had we gone up last year and played this year in Tier 3 in a normal world, I think we would have come close to going up again. I really do believe that. It just means now that the competition's great. There's more money in the top 2 divisions, so there's more players drip feeding out in the top 2 into sort of the 3rd and the 4th tiers. So the competition is getting greater, which makes it more challenging for us long term to get to where we want to get to. But I think that the pros to going up, I think we've got a lot of players that would have probably looked to have moved on, and we would have really supported them with that. I think we were quite lucky in some ways that so many decided to stay with us. They really believed in sticking at it. We do run a really good program. How we operate, our player development model is as good as it gets for young players in this country. So we know we can keep players because of what we can offer them. But I think that some might have got a bit impatient with, some of the competition isn't as competitive ultimately, and players would have looked to try and to stretch themselves a little bit more and possibly moved on. So we should now sort of keep everybody we'd want to keep, which is a massive plus for us. And I think, the supporters will want to watch us play against new teams and new division. I think the sort of virus had come at a really difficult stage for us because we were just sort of starting to build a really, really strong supporter network, and attendances were booming. We've had the highest attendance in a league fixture not to be played at a men's stadium. I still think that's correct, Kieran. You might correct me if I'm wrong on that. We know we're sort of building a really good network of supporters, and I think that going up into a division will continue to build on that, which will be a massive positive for us as well.
That's a really good reward for the supporters, and like you say, there's been momentum building, genuine interest in the women's game, and you do have a very loyal cohort of support week in, week out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I said they've been following us up and down the country or the region for quite a long time now, and have been really excited about what we've kind of showcased. And now we've got an opportunity to build on that and increase that and keep progressing.
Where are you looking forward to going?
We're just looking forward to going everywhere, really. I think, an opportunity to play new teams, new experiences, new competition. I think we're suited to the level. I think I said to Kieran yesterday or the day before that we were finding it difficult to play teams that knew our capabilities. We kind of there were 3 words we sort of used quite a lot last year, that we felt that the only thing that could stop us was disruption, distraction, and difference. And those things we try to control ourselves, because most teams would know what we were capable of. We'd shock teams in the first year. In the second year, it was a case of if we could deal with any distractions, any disruptions and differences, then we would keep moving forward. So I think that we're glad to see the back of that a little bit, and we're looking forward to playing teams that are going to be, I guess, closer to our level. And I think we will be better for it, playing teams that are going to be prepared to go toe-to-toe with us in some ways, which is what we like. We like sort of that side of the game. We don't want to play against teams that are kind of scrapping for their lives. We want to play in really entertaining, exciting games, and I think that's when we're at our best. And I think that our cup run last year shows that the 3 or 4 teams we knocked out in a league above shows that when we can compete with teams that we feel that we're close to or better than, that want to compete with us, and that's when we're at our best. So we're looking forward to playing everybody. We're looking forward to testing ourselves and seeing where it takes us, really.
You spoke there a little about retaining ambitious players who will now stay and be part of the momentum going up. What will your summer look like in terms of attracting new faces as well?
Yeah, we've identified some positions we think we need to recruit. I think one thing that's great about us and what we're about is that we will never look to have a mass turnover of players. I think that the Super League and the Championship last couple of weeks have seen a turnover of a lot of players. Anything between 8 and 12 players really are turning over each year. I think what's exciting about us is that we're committing to players. We're trying to invest at least 3-4 years in players, to keep seeing how far we can take them, and hopefully that continuity will benefit us long term. So it will never be more. I don't think we've ever brought in more than 2 at senior age group, and it won't. I don't think it will be any different this year. We've identified sort of 2 or 3 we want to speak to, really important positions for us, and that's already in motion. And hopefully, we can get those over the line, and that will certainly add to us moving forwards.
Congratulations again, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, good stuff. Who wants to go next? Oh, Phil, I think you might be on mute there.
I was going to say Katie can go first before me. It's just fine.
Okay, Katie, you want to kick off? I think you might be. Oh, there you go. There you are.
There we go. Yeah. Congratulations again, Joe. Fantastic news for Suffolk. Fantastic news for you guys. I mean, how did you feel, that moment of finding out? Was it, months and months of thinking about it? What was it like in that moment?
Oh, I don't know really. It's just an elation of I felt like it was a huge weight off our shoulders. I think it was paramount. It was so important. We needed it massively, and I think not knowing had kind of built up a lot of pressure in some ways. And the moment was just pure elation, pure joy, and I couldn't wait to tell staff, players. Just a real overwhelming feeling of relief, I think.
And obviously you've had such two fantastic sort of starts to the past couple of years. How do you ensure that, going into pre-season and stuff, that you are ready for this new level of challenge, and that you are prepared to take on these higher level teams?
Yeah, I think naturally. I think knowing the players as I do, I don't think there'll be much we will need to do. And I think that started to notice probably since the turn of the year that the players were probably lacking a little bit of stimulus. I think they'd probably got a bit stale with wondering, when is this ever going to get better? That the stop-start games, 1 week we can win 10-0, the other week we can lose by an absolute freak result. And the players needed a new stimulus. They needed new competition. So I don't think there's anything our end we're going to need to prepare them for, because I just think they're going to be so excited. They're so ready now to make that next jump. They know we've competed with teams. I mean, we even tried to get some post-season games against teams in the league above. So we played Portsmouth, we played Nottingham Forest, who both currently operate at Tier 3. Both of those games told us that we're ready for this level, and we can do really well at this level. So naturally players are going to be really excited. We're all looking forward to it as staff, to kind of embracing new teams, a new journey, a new challenge to then try and kick on to get to the championship.
Oh, fantastic. Is it too much to say that you'd go for back-to-back promotion? I know it's a big ask going up from this level, but back-to-back, is it on the cards?
I always thought that if we were to win the league on the pitch with the young group of players, that feeling of being able to win something and, prepare prior to a final game that, you could win to go up, or waiting for a referee's final whistle, those moments we were really keen for. And we felt that if we could win it like that, then I actually did think that the momentum would shift on. And ultimately, you've got a group of young players that have proved they can win the league title. And I thought that we would go again off the back of that. So it might be a little bit more difficult now. We've not been able to experience that. I still think we've got the quality to compete, to go again. There will be a couple of teams in our league that will be looking to move up. I think, like ourselves, Southampton have waited a couple of years to try and make this jump, and they're doing things very similar in some ways. So I think that we played them at the end of the season as well, and we're more than a match for them. So I think that if we can, pick up some big results, find a bit of form, and try and play as best as we can, we'll see where it takes us. I don't think we'll put an expectation like we have on the last couple of years to try and win the league. We'll just try and play as best as we can every week, and if we end up top after however many games, then so be it.
Of course, some of those sort of new sides you're facing, they have quite a bit of history. Yeovil, of course, former Super League side. Oxford, a former second tier side. Does that come into your mind when you start sort of preparing for the new season, the history of these clubs, the positions they've been in before? I mean, are you sort of already sort of trying to dig the dirt on your opponents at this point?
Yeah, not really. I mean, we're well aware of the teams that we think could be a huge threat to us. We haven't really done much on them. I think we've enjoyed obviously the feeling of going up. We'll enjoy some time off, and then we'll probably sit down really and work out how we approach it. I think one thing we've kind of done really well over the last couple of years is not really paid much attention to anybody we've played against, and spent as much time trying to be as good as we can possibly be ourselves. I think that will shift a little bit, because games will be more competitive, and that's not to say we haven't paid teams respect previously, but we've just tried to really focus on ourselves. I think maybe monitor the market and recruitment and see who kind of looking to recruit well, and we'll start reviewing footage, I think, towards before the season starts to sort of kick off, and do our homework, I don't think we're phased by where teams have played previously. I think we'll just look at who's got a lot going on for them now, and who do we need to be aware of, and how are we going to ensure we try and finish above them all.
And a final one from me. Obviously, you've been very used to sort of playing in a very sort of small area, sort of geographically. You've got some big treks ahead of you out to the likes of Yeovil and Cardiff. I mean, does that change the way you're going to have to prepare for weekends? It's a little bit further than going in the minibus, perhaps, for that one.
We'll ensure that we travel a little bit differently for some of those games, as you say. I think we're really fortunate that we've got. I don't have many now. I lose track, but we've got potentially 8 seniors that have played all over Europe, all over the world for their country. So I think that travelling aspect is not going to be anything they've not come across. We had experiences last year where we travelled on coaches and overnight stays to fixtures, and as I say, a lot of our international players would have flown to games and flown away for camps in the past. So it won't be anything that's new to us. Obviously, it'll be new for us as a group. I don't think it changes much because, I say, a lot of us have been used to something like that previous. So, if anything, it's quite exciting in some ways. We had to travel differently and a little bit longer at times. There's certainly a lot to be made for spending a bit more time with people and having coffees on coaches and getting to know people over a bit of a longer period. So it has its benefits, I'd say.
Fantastic. All the best.
Thank you.
You said earlier about you thought you might lose players if you hadn't have gone up. It would have been a sort of fairly unhealthy for the development of players, wouldn't it, if you'd have stayed in the same division again, having been so over competitive in the sense that you were clearly the best team in the division for 2 years, weren't you?
Yeah, I think one thing we've done really well, which is we've always been conscious of it anyway, and we've said this before, we truly believe we've got one of, if not the best player development model in the country for girls 16 upwards. And one thing that we've been really good at, and the club have been absolutely incredible with, is how we facilitate things for girls that are striving. So we've got girls now that are training with boys. We've had one that's been in with Arden with the 18s and the 16s for 4 or 5 months. So we're always looking how we can stretch players. We're going to incorporate a few different things as well moving forward. So you're right, it would be a detriment, but I think one thing we've really been good at is how we, I guess, find a solution to ensure that these young players are still going to be stretched throughout the week. We've trained with boys, we've played against boys, and that's stead us well, I think. So ultimately, though, you're right. We needed to compete higher because there's only so much development you can do from Monday to Saturday. Ultimately, players want to compete at higher level for points. So we're pleased that you're right that we're able now to step up and play at a higher division. Because ultimately, whilst we can provide something from Monday to Saturday for players to benefit from, they all want to be playing against better teams in more competitive environments. So, it's really important that we're now able to offer that for them.
Financially, do you get any more money? Does the club get any more money from the FA for being in a higher division?
I'm not aware. I asked that question yesterday. I'm not aware. I don't think so. I think once we hopefully make the jump up to the next one, I think there's a lot of money, TV revenue to be made, which is obviously the one we want to make. So, I think commercially we will do better. I know we've had a really positive response to our True Blue membership that we've only sort of launched relatively early. So that's fairly new. I think that will continue to increase. So we've done really well. The supporters will continue to be important for us to ensure that we can try and generate funds to, try and compete really, and try and get to that next step.
And the new owners, have you had any meetings with the new owners? We had Mark Detmer on a podcast recently, and I asked him about the women's team and whether that was seen as something that they were up for supporting, and he was very sort of enthusiastic about the women's team. So have you had any meetings with them, or meetings about how the ownership is going to sort of how they're going to back you?
Yeah, not yet. I think I've heard a few. I think they're not over till potentially August time, maybe September. So yeah, I've not had any communication with them yet. Was able to meet Mark Ashton yesterday, day before, as part of a staff meeting, but not personally. But I'm sure all those things will start to take place over the next month or so, and we'll start to look at what the future does look like. So obviously we're in a really exciting position as there's a great foundation there. There really is, for what we've built. There's an opportunity to really pick that up and take it. I think wherever the club want to take it, really. Because we've got all the foundations, we've got a huge fan base for the level we've been playing at, and there's such an exciting opportunity to take that wherever it wants to go, really. And hopefully over the next couple of months, there'll be an opportunity, as you say, to meet the owners and find out what we can do and what's needed and what can take us on.
And it's put momentum, isn't it? You got the momentum of the new ownership, and now the momentum of you going up as well. So it all feels very, very positive, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. As I say, it's been 3 or 4 years of some really good work gone in by so many people, and it's a great opportunity to be in. A promotion, new ownership, and yeah, I'll be looking forward to sitting down with them and finding out where we're at, what we need, and where we want to go with it, and what's our aim, what's our vision, and what have we got to do to crack on with that and see if we can get there.
Cool, excellent. Well, congratulations, and good luck for the new season.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, all done?
Think so.
Good stuff. All right, thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cheers, Kieran.
Yeah.
Good. See you later.
Bye bye.